there's two kinds of enforcement. There's the border enforcement, and I think even a lot of Democrats now agree that border enforcement has to be stiffened up, especially on the southern border, but all our borders. The hard one is the internal enforcement, and again, the INS, when it existed, and of course it was taken away in 2005, but it had two conflicting roles. Think of INS, Immigration and Naturalization Services. Mm-hmm. They were mainly concerned with legal immigrants, bringing in the visas, naturalizing people who wanted to be naturalized. There was really no agency to do internal enforcement, and nobody wanted to do it. After 9/11, I think the biggest impact on immigration after 9/11 is that the Department of Homeland Security was developed. And within that bureau now, within that department, there are two bureaus that deal with immigration. Well, more, but two that deal with enforcement. There's the Immigration and Citizenship Services, so they do very much what the INS did. Then there's the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The definitive words are S and E. For the first time in our history, we have an agency that does internal enforcements. And that's where a lot of the controversy is going to come from. This whole thing in Arizona, they're not talking about enforcement on the border. They're talking about interior enforcement. They're talking about asking people for what permit you have when you're inside the country. The internal enforcement, that's going to be the hot political issue because Americans, for some reason, have a gut reaction against it. We don't want identity cards, which would really solve the problem. We don't want employers to have harder sanctions. Again, internal enforcement, that's our biggest issue that we have to confront.
Battling the Political Hype and Hysteria, Peggy Orchowski is the book of Immigration and the American Dream. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Please come back again.